I was on eBay earlier just looking at some prices, and the prices on some of these textured foils, it's just insane. And I don't know if it's going to hold. It seems like heavily inflated. The case that this one channel I was watching, they were saying they got 2 textured foils in one case. One was an Ulamog and one was an Emrakul. So I don't know. It's just something to keep in mind as you're seeing these prices start to pop up. Especially the price on eBay is just like insane for textured foils right now. They're like over $1,500. You can scroll down. Let's see if we can find any completed listings and see if people are actually paying these prices. Okay, so $894 wrenn 6 sold.
Okay.
It's just wild, man. John Reed, I would not pay $1,500 either. If I was going to pay $1,500 on MTG cards, what I would be doing is I would be finishing out my dual land set. 100%.
Now, so we saw
by Moonshot. What's up, man? Nice to see you, Lance.
Jake, we saw that the pull rate of these, we've been told the pull rate of these is 3%, correct?
Yeah, and then the case that this one channel was talking about, they said they got 2 in 8 boxes. So cases of this product currently going for around that $2,000 range. 8 boxes come per case. And one channel was saying they got the Ulamog and the Emrakul, both textured foil in the same case. Now, we could go and we could watch like Cracking Packs MTG, and we could see they recently released a video today where they opened 2 collector boxes. The value is crazy right now, but the cards are not in the hands of the players.
Right.
So it's like each of these packs that I'm seeing, they easily hit like $50 in value because you have so many slots to hit. I've seen a pack with a Fiery Justice opened and it still did well by the end. So yeah, I'm very interested to see how these cards fluctuate, where they end up. Is this going to be like the Amano Liliana foil that when it first came out, you could get it for $500, $400, but you're thinking, oh my God, that's a stupid price. I'm not going to pay $400 or $500 for a card right out the gate.
But now,
right, it's 6x that price, 7x that price.
You know what? So I'd be interested to know, what is the neon ink? Does it have, what is that called?
Heartless Hidetsugu.
Yeah.
HIDT.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not Heartless. It's Hidetsugu. Heartless is my commander.
Devouring Chaos.
Devouring Chaos. Here
I always do that. 8 boxes for like $2,000. Yeah. NPN.
Hidetsugu Neon? No. Oh,
yeah.
Here we go. Blue.
So neon red is the one.
Red
we
was
want.
was the most rare, right?
This is the big one. Yeah.
So this is up to $1,900. I know that the pull rate on these neons.
Chart. Look at that fucking chart, man. That's so dumb. And it just rips, and not like a little penny stock that goes back down. It's just level now. This has to be some form of artificial scarcity, or the card is just truly that rare.
I think it's that rare. I mean, people were talking, the pull rate on this one is less than 1%. So we're not talking this rare. But look at that April 7th through April 9th price that TCG Player was selling these, $442.35.
Right.
Then you're like, I'm not going to pay $450 for a single card. And now it's like, oh, $1,900. Looks like it's actually marketing around $1,300, something like that.
Yeah, it's just wild. And so I am interested to see what the textured foils do. Brittany Nagy says, I want to see and feel a texture foil.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to keep it in my collection if I get one. I mean, if you do get one of these cards, I'm just interested to see, do they say 3%, but then we end up seeing more of them? Or is it truly 3% and they're going to end up being 700 and then they 2x to 1,400? Or, how much are players going to want these? The Eldrazi Titans are really sweet, but when they start doing this with stuff like textured foil Mana Crypt, textured foil Soul Ring,
right?
You know, that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be a whole different level.
Yeah,
Imperial Seal should have had a textured foil. That makes zero sense to me. If you're reprinting Imperial Seal for the first time, why would you not give it the textured foil treatment?
We've been saying now for like 3 years, Jake, what happens when they do this with Soul Ring? What happens when they do this with, you know, Rhystic Study or Smothering Tide?
Well, it's a slow burn because there's so many cards, right? I mean, there's like a multitude of like really good MTG cards that you can reprint,
right?
And then there's the upper echelon of just like your tier 1 EDH stuff that's like your Force of Will, your Imperial Seal, all the free spells, your Force of Negation. You could do it with those kind of cards, and then it's like, oh man, Demonic Tutor, you know, the staples.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Eldrazi Titans aren't exactly staples, you know. Liliana of the Last Hope isn't a staple. Wrenn 6 isn't a staple. When they start doing it with staple commander cards, yeah.
Well, Emrakul is even banned, so this is almost totally a collector's piece here. Nobody's going to be pimping out their Emrakul the Aeon's Torn for their commander deck.
I mean, Ian says they don't give Imperial Seal the textured foil because it would essentially negate the reprint of it as far as the price drop is concerned. But it still has the 3 other versions. You could pull the foil, you could pull the non-foil.
It's all about the extra versions pushing down the price of the base level copy, which is what you want to happen, which is why they do this. They've done this thing over the last 3 years where they pull apart the reprint of a card. I said like cotton candy on a previous stream, where over here it still is allowing the collectors to have that, you know, super rare card that they want to collect that's going to hold value, etc. But it also puts a reprint in there enough for people to be able to acquire the card, and they don't have to balance that with one version of the card like they would have had to prior to Throne of Eldraine.
Like, for example, and I hate to throw it back to this, but Modern Horizons 2 fetch lands, they continue to go down. So that product, so much of that product was printed that I'm looking at a Scalding Tarn, $26 or best offer. A Scalding Tarn for $24.93. And that was the card that when we originally reviewed those fetch lands and we said, where do we want our price to be? Like, what's our target price? And we said that anywhere between, I believe it was like anywhere between 30 to 35 for the blue ones, the Scalding and the Misty. And now those are both down. And it's just interesting because those cards are so highly sought after, right? But when you do have a meaningful reprint, meaning what we're talking about with Imperial Seal, it's getting 3 different versions. It's getting like an etched, it's getting a foil, it's getting a non-foil. You had Scalding Tarn, Misty Rainforest, Verdant. All of those enemy fetch lands got like 4 different versions in that product, and that product was mass produced. And now it is many months later after Modern Horizons 2, and yet they still continue to go down.
I have to be very careful not to dox myself, but what you're talking about with these base level copies, this was my last order on TCG Player. I ordered this like last Thursday. Arid Mesa, ignore some of the smaller stuff. These are for like commander decks, but Arid Mesa, Jetmir's Garden, Luxury Suite, Flats, Rainforest, Morphic Pool, Tower, Pool again. I got an extended version of Reflecting Pool just because they're down to $13 right now.
Is this an order of yours?
Yeah, this is my order from last Thursday. I just went through because I had been talking so much about I think that people should be going out right now and getting those cards because the technique that Wizards has used has pushed base level copies of those down. I was like, you know what?
They're so cheap.
I'm just going to do a big order and then I'll do my very first ever Joel, what I'm buying.
Joel, I'm so fucking excited, man. This is great. I had no idea. I mean, that's smart. That's smart.
But that's
to get
what we're
those
talking
cards
about,
now.
right?
Because it's low risk. It's low risk. When you're buying a set of Scalding Tarns for $200,
right?
And it's been a couple years since a reprint, that's a high risk price to buy into something.
Anyway, this is about textured foils.
20s. So, oh yeah, now this is about textured foils, but my point was just all of that MH2 talk was to the response that was, you know, Imperial Seal, if they had printed it as textured foil, it would have kept the price propped up. No, it still has all those other variants that are going to be less desirable. if there were a textured foil, more of the product would be opened, and it would drive the price of a lot of these staples down even more.
You see Kozilek holding a really high price, probably the most commander playable card. Kozilek and Ulamog are going to be your two most playable commander cards in this. Emrakul unfortunately banned. Liliana is more of a, this is a modern card, right? Is Liliana even seeing
it's a great
play?
modern card. Yeah.
And then Wrenn and 6 is definitely a modern and pioneer, modern card. So you can see the price is reflected in that, but it'll stand to be seen. You know, I am hesitant based on some of the other super rare cards that have come out, Neon Ink, like we looked at. You know, I'm hesitant. A Mono Liliana, like Jake is constantly opening. I'm very hesitant to say that these won't go up because they could be very rare.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be paying it. Like, that's high risk to me. $1,000 for a card that's a textured foil. I mean, could it 2x? Maybe. Could it go down to 500? Yeah, I think it could.